It's time to celebrate the 14th anniversary of Bitcoin Pizza Day, May the 22nd, 2024. I thought it was a great time to take a trip down memory lane and go to the Bitcoin Talk Forum and see where this actually all went down, in Laszlo's own words. This is the Crypto Bullseye Zone. I'm Kirk David Phillips, and I make common sense of the crypto space. So let's dive right in. Let's first take a look at the Bitcoin Wiki. All right. And we'll take a look at Lazlo Hanyecz. And he is the one who wanted to buy pizzas for 10,000 Bitcoin. And you can see that he made a post on May 18th. And then on May 22nd is when he successfully traded the 10,000 Bitcoins to Jerkos, who was the one who ordered the pizza on his behalf, had it delivered to him, and the one who received the 10,000 Bitcoin. So you'll see over here the Jerkos Bitcoin Wiki. His real name is Jeremy Sturdivant, known as Jerkos. He was the counterparty to Laszlo in the first documented purchase of a tangible good using Bitcoin. And of course, according to the Jerkos, the transaction was finalized over IRC chats. Jerkos was 18 at the time of the transaction, which means he would be 32 today. And we're going to see what his life would be like dollar-wise if he still had those 10,000 Bitcoin. And I'm not sure what the story is on that about Jerkos, because you rarely hear anything about Jerkos, but you hear a lot about Laszlo. So let's dive into the Bitcoin Talk Forum. Let's take it to the top. You can see that here is Laszlo's first post on May the 18th, 2010. He says, I'll pay 10,000 Bitcoins for a couple of pizzas, like maybe 2 large ones, so I have some left over for the next day. I like having leftover pizza to nibble on later. You can make the pizza yourself and bring it to my house or order it for me from a delivery place. But what I'm aiming for is to get the food delivered in exchange for some Bitcoins where I don't have to prepare it myself, kind of like ordering a breakfast at a hotel, just so I can have something to eat and be very happy. And then he goes on to say, this is classic. I like things like onions, pepper, sausage, mushrooms, tomatoes, pepperoni, etc. Just standard stuff, no weird fish topping or anything like that. I also like regular cheese pizzas, which may be cheaper to prepare. Then later on that same day, Ender X chimes in and says, 10,000? That's quite a bit. You could sell those on bitcoinmarket.com for $41 right now. Good luck on getting your free pizza. And then 3 days later, Laszlo says, so nobody wants to buy me pizza? Is the Bitcoin amount I'm offering too low? That's classic. He's thinking, well, maybe I need to increase it to 15,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizza. Then, a few days later, I just think it would be interesting that I could say that I paid for pizza in Bitcoins. Yes, it would be very interesting, and that's why Bitcoin Pizza Day is legendary. And then finally, on May the 22nd, 2010, Laszlo chimes in and says, I just want to report that I successfully traded 10,000 Bitcoins for pizza. Thanks, Jerkos. And of course, you don't see the messaging with Jerkos because, as stated in Jerkos Bitcoin Wiki, those messages were taken offline in an IRC channel, and that's where the transaction was completed. All right, so moving on. So a few weeks later, Laszlo then chimes in again and says, this is an open offer to buy, by the way. I will trade 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 of these pizzas anytime as long as I have the funds. I usually have plenty. If anyone is interested, please let me know. The exchange is favorable for anyone who does it because the 2 pizzas are only about $25, maybe $30 if you give the guy a nice tip. If you could get me upgraded extra large ones or something, I can throw in some more Bitcoins. Just let me know and we'll work something out. Yeah, how about let's get him all of his favorite toppings that he previously mentioned, and then maybe we can get 12,500 Bitcoins out of this deal. That would be phenomenal, just for a topping upgrade. Then on August the 4th, Laszlo says, well, I didn't expect this to be so popular, but I can't really afford to keep doing this because I can't generate thousands of coins a day anymore. Thanks to everyone who bought me pizza already, but I'm kind of holding off on doing any more of these for now. And then finally down on November the 29th, 2010, Rybuck chimes in and says, will this eventually become the world's first $1 million pizza? Well, how prophetic that is. Not just $1 million pizza, but multi million pizza. Now let's take a look at the transaction, because as you know, one of the beautiful things about Bitcoin is the transparency. We can just actually go to the actual transaction hash when this went down, which they've actually labeled here on blockchain.com as the Bitcoin pizza hash. And you'll see the little ditty over here on the left. Transaction was made by Laszlo, where Jeremy Sturdivant paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. Now over on the right, you'll see the timestamp in black, May 22, 2010, and of course the output value, 10,000 Bitcoin. And then just below, you will see the whopping number, $695,625,100 is the current value as of this recording, which is amazing. So again, if Jerkos had held on to those 10,000 Bitcoins, and that's the only thing he did from when he was 18 to when he was actually at 18, that's all he would have needed to do for the rest of his life, is hold on to those 10,000 Bitcoins just for ordering pizza on behalf of someone else. Wow. That's what you call an epic investment, where you can end up in the Investors Hall of Fame. Now, finally, let's take a look at a CoinDesk article that came out exactly 10 years ago today, which was May the 22nd, 2014. And it says Bitcoin Pizza Day celebrating the pizzas bought for 10,000 BTC. And of course, scrolling down, it says back then when the technology was just over a year old, that equated to roughly $25. Of course, that was the pizza value. Per the wiki, it said it was $41, but nonetheless, the point here is that it's $5.12 million in today's rate, and that's as of 10 years ago. And of course, you see then and now, this is where Laszlo is being interviewed and quoted by the New York Times, talking about how he thought it would be a really cool idea of trading them for pizza, and it would be incredibly cool. And then he says, no one knew it was going to be this big. Wow. Absolutely true. No one knew it was going to be this big, and how big it is. And so that, folks, is a trip down memory lane, right at the source. Bitcoin Pizza Day, the 14th anniversary. Hope you enjoyed. Please go down below and like and subscribe to this channel so we can keep bringing you great content.